Hello everyone, and welcome to this new moon solar eclipse in Aries. It's going to be quite a journey, and it's going to be a wonderful experience when we have gone through it and when we are on the other side of it. So let's get into it. Let's see what it's all about so that we can meet it and optimize it rather than it push us around. Yeah, that's the idea, to make the most of it. So without further ado, let's take a big deep breath and soften the body. Releasing tension. Wherever there is tension in the body, just take the breath to it and release it. And then take that energy in through the mouth, through the center of the body, and down through the legs and down through the feet, and ground yourself. And then going all the way down through the feet, down to Mother Earth, through the magnetic core of the earth. And then taking another breath up from the heart, pushing it through the head, through the aura, through the halo, which is about 8 inches, 20 centimeters above the head. And make the intention to go and connect to your higher self and to the peak of this new moon solar eclipse and all its supporting planets. And then come down again, go back through your halo, coming down into the back of the body, the back of the chakras, and then coming to center. Give yourself full permission to receive and allow, to gain insights that will follow, to have an experiential connection with all the sunbeams, moonbeams, energy beams, code activations, and anything else that you want from today. And don't worry if you don't know the astrology, just breathe and hear and receive it, because what will happen is that it will create, just the hearing of it will create space in your being, and then it will work more of its magic. All right, so this new moon at 29 degrees of Aries on the 20th of April is exact at 5:12 a.m. BST. That's 4:12 a.m. GMT. 12:12 p.m. EST, 9:12 p.m. PST, and 1:42 p.m. ACST. Now, it's a new moon. So we know that the sun and the moon are conjunct. They're combining their power and their might. We know that Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's a fire sign. It is the identity. It is the newborn identity that is untainted by the world. And it's also a cardinal sign. So what it sees, it goes and gets. What it wants, it goes and gets. What it desires, it goes and gets. And it fully expects that that bounty and abundance will come to it. All right, breathe that in. So the angels, the first angel is Archangel Ariel, and Archangel Ariel is the archangel associated with Aries. I didn't plan it this way, but it did come out exactly as it suggests. And the message on the card is courage, because although in our Aries chart, part of our chart, we are hardwired to be courageous, to be bold and decisive, the rest of us may have a different idea, or several parts of us may agree and want to follow, but other parts may have a different idea. And so Aries has boundless courage, boundless impetus. It's audacious. It doesn't care. Doesn't care that you think that the goal is improbable, unlikely, impossible. It's going to do it anyway. There's a courage in that. It'll take the risk to be disappointed, because you know what? It wins it, it loses it. It's a bit of both, but it's doing it, it's actioning it. That's the juice for Aries. So the Aries fire is sing like you've never been heard, love like you've never been hurt, and live your life. And then there's another archangel, Archangel Joules, who comes in with a very different palette, if you will. This feels higher, much more destiny fueled, and this feels much more concerned with this angel, much more concerned with the soul's journey. And what the messages align with the higher flow, go with it. And that's particularly potent this time, because not only do we have a new moon or a lunation, but we also have the solar eclipse. And the solar eclipse, all eclipses are a destiny activity. They deal with our destiny. They're not just about our development, they're about our karmic and destiny fueled achievement and advancement. So that's what this angel is coming for. And then we've got Ariel again, who came up, and in this, guys, she's saying live your life. That's the wealth, the courage, the drive, the ambition to live your life, and the immense freedom and power of that, along with any other talents that we have, will surely bring us prosperity more often than not. When we are following our destiny, it doesn't mean we never have a bad day, and it doesn't mean we're never challenged or things don't go wrong, in inverted commas. But what it does mean, when we're living and learning and growing and seeking, is that we kind of are able, when we meet these initiations and new beginnings and twists and turns of our destiny, when we meet them with an ability to co-create, rather than living at the fate level, which is toss this way, toss that way, toss the other way, because we just fatalistically, nihilistically don't believe that we've got any power at all, well, that's not great living. And that brings us the smallest amount of abundance. But when we co-create, and the more actively and knowingly we co-create, which is what Aries is all about, then, you know, we're much more likely to wade into our prosperity. And just after, a couple of hours after this new moon, lunation, solar eclipse in Aries, the moon and the sun do go into Taurus. Moon goes in 1 hour after the peak, and sun goes in 4 hours after the peak. So within 5 hours, we've gone from Aries into Taurus, which we'll talk about the meaning of later. And this is where this angel comes in, Archangel Zadkiel, again, a soul's journey angel. And he comes in with the softness of compassion. Now, true compassion is not pity. It is not soft in the way that it lets you off. It is not even charitable necessarily. It is compassionate, which means it looks on the situation or the subject or the person with passion, but an understanding that if there is resistance or a block or fear or whatever, that situation can transmute and can change and upgrade itself. And then, of course, we're round again into courage, going with destiny, and reaching the goal where we live with the horn of plenty. All right, breathe all that in. So an eclipse season, as I said, an eclipse, and we've got 2 eclipses this season. This first one is on the new moon on the 20th of April. And then the closing eclipse that closes the season of great strength of awakening is on the 5th, 6th of May. And that's going to be a lunar eclipse. So eclipses alter and correct our destiny timelines because we can so often resist life changes, even the one we want, or we might go more slowly because we try a bit, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or we have to very trepidatiously feel our way. Oh, I'm not going to do that's enough for this year. No, it's not. So eclipses come, catapult us forward and say, you will run, let's run and make it happen. There's an awakening, there's a revelation, and then towards the end, the direction to take that knowing, that new beginning, does start to open up and present itself. This is a solar eclipse, so we know that this change is born from work we have already done internally that is coming out of its cocoon phase and bursting out into the world. So that's why a lot of people work with eclipse energy. They love it, they ritualize it, because it speeds up, it fast tracks their plans and their destinies if it goes their way. It's a real leapfrog moment. Of course, you never know what you're going to get until you're in the process. So sometimes you can co-create with it, you can stir that cauldron, but there may well be a couple of surprises. All right. So the numerology, this is at the 29th degree of Aries. Each sign has 30 degrees, or 29, and a 30 is also 0 of the next sign. And so what the 29th degree is, it's called the anaretic degree, but what that represents is the learning and the wisdom that the experience of working through the previous 28 degrees has brought us to. So this is the culmination degree of everything that sign needs to teach us in order to then go into the next sign and take the next step up, the next level up of the process. 29 also makes 11, so this is balance. Either that which is inferior equalizes and renews the situation and the person, and opens the scope and the reach, I think, or it brings down any superiority, any pedestal, any indulgence in admiration. And what I mean by that, prizing something or someone too much. Yes, it brings it down to, it's just a person. It's just the same as you. We're all valuable. We're all equal. So the 11 is a master number, and it's a rebalancing number as well. Okay, breathe that in. So what's going on in Aries at the moment? Well, we touched on this in previous episodes, but Aries is at the start of the zodiac. So we know that this is initially a 12-month phase, but it's also because Jupiter is in Aries, so it's also the start of a 12-year phase. So this is a very important pivotal moment. It's exciting, actually. If you look back on the last 12 years and the last year, what have you learned? Who were you? Who have you become? How has your life grown and shaped and evolved? What changes have been introduced that, you know, are here to stay? And what's the next film? What's the, you know, you've had the prequel, now you've got the main event, there'll be a sequel because there'll be another 12 years and so on and so on. I think this is a highly innovative and inventive time. This is a magnificent time, actually. And I hope that for everyone, there are changes that we are welcoming. Of course, there is karma. And so in some way, shape or form, we may be receiving change that we are either fearful of, scared of, or that we thought we didn't ever want to have to happen. You know, it was against our own expectations. But once again, learn. All of us must learn to trust that even if we're in a situation where our expectations are being tossed and blown, that it is only for our best and highest well-being. It is only our destiny coming in, and that is what we must live. So work with it, try not to resist, try not to question it, be decisive. No, the stakes are big, get going, find the diamond in the rough and find some passion in it. That's the way, that's the Aries way, that's the active way, and confidence that it will turn out all right. Aries gets going and says, I will sort the detail out along the way. I've got the power, I've got the talent, I've got the drive, I've got the dream. Everything else is the detail, we'll sort it out. And if I can't sort it out, I'll give it to Taurus or somebody else and they'll sort it out. It'll be okay. And finally, just after this new moon solar eclipse peaks, there is then a very strong square to Pluto in Aquarius. So Pluto is essentially involved with our karma. And usually it's where our karma is sticking and stagnating, or where we are sticking and stagnating and refusing. So Pluto, small but mighty, has the power to break that apart, to even eliminate it, get rid of it, because its true purpose, Pluto's true purpose, is to transform us. So wherever Pluto is, and in our charts and in the chart because of where it is in the sky at that time, there is something that if we resist, it will blow that resistance away. So just know that. So the good thing to do to know where your life is going to be affected is to look at where 29 degrees of Aries is in your chart. And we look to see what house. We know the sign, it's Aries. We know the degree, it's 29. So what house in it? Where is it placed? If for you that is the first house, then what's going to change is your identity in the world, your image in the world, your profile in the world, your standing in the world, how the world sees you, or how you want the world to see you, how you see yourself in the world. Did you see yourself as divorced? Are you now married? Did you see yourself as working for a corporation? Are you now self-employed? It could be anything, of course. 8 billion ways to see it, but how is your image going to change? If 29 of Aries is in your second house, this is the house of value, economic value, income, security, material possessions, what we value to give us shelter and stability. But it's also how the world values you, what you get paid, what you get rewarded with. And also love is a value, and it's a second house aspect. So how are you loved? How do you love yourself? How do you love your life? How do you love what you do? How do you feel valued? That's the second house. If this is in your third house, this is where you deal with your personnel, so siblings, neighbors, colleagues, co-workers, even small animals. It can be triggering your childhood events, memories, outcomes. It will definitely be about communication as well. How are you getting your points across? How are you expressing this one side of your personality to another? Are you one person with friends and family? Are you somebody else with colleagues, and so on and so forth? It's very much the first sign of the mind, the third house. So how do you speak your thoughts and your truths? Fourth house is mother, divine feminine power, significant females in your life, past, present, future. Childhood, the home you grew up in, the nurturing and the values you received at the start of your life. Fifth house, father, male energy, but also your first journeys, your first forays into the exploring of the world, and also what you do for fun. What are your interests? What are your hobbies? What friends do you attract to do that with? What like-minded people are around you? This is where we start to date and have sex. This is also how you handle your abundance and what you see as abundance. Okay. Sixth house. So this is all things daily and mundane. What lifestyle do you live? How is your health and fitness? How do you manage work, rest, play? How are you at work? What's your work life consist of, and your daily habits? Seventh house, all things relationship. So romance relationship, marriage relationship. Seventh house is the house of commitment with others. So partnerships, associations, alliances, even legal agreements, and justice. Eighth house, resources, how the world pays you, or how you have to pay the world. And the house of manifestation, non-physical, non-matter becoming physical matter. Ninth house is a higher mind, higher frequency zone. It is usually quite upbeat. It's where we're wise, we learn from the university of life, but it's also our value codes, our belief systems, our altruistic goals, and what we want to see in the world. 10th house, legacy, success, achievement, and all things visible, what you've achieved, your status in the world, quite often associated with career. 11th house, again, significant lifelong relationships, the higher love relationships, those that have lasted the distance, authority figures, older siblings, causes, creeds, ideals, the changes you want to see in the world. And the 12th house, this is the house of the unknown. This is where all of your past and higher selves meet your present self. There's a lot of talent, latent talent, ability, and power in the 12th house. and it will open its door and push out what we need only when we need it. All right, breathe all that in. So that's the highlights. I hope it's given you some idea of what to expect, a framework with which to put this wonderful energy in. Because now we're going to get going, optimize it and receive it. All right, so taking a nice deep breath, making yourself cozy and comfortable. And bringing that breath up through the head, through the aura, through the halo. And connecting with the sun and moon, new moon, exact at 29 degrees of Aries. So connecting first with the moon. At 29 degrees of Aries. Now, this may feel different from normal, might feel more lively, more visceral, more palpable in your body, not as soft and gentle and quiet as normal. Notice where it's going, breathe it into every cell. Notice where it's going in your body, in the chakra system. How does it make you feel? This moon feels strong in whatever direction it puts itself in. With Aries, push. And connecting to the sun, again at 29 degrees of Aries. And you might feel that this is a stronger, deeper, heavier presence as it comes into your body. Breathing it down, breathing it in, and going into every cell of the body, every fiber of the being, all the space in the aura. Breathing it deep, feeling it deep in the belly, coursing through your blood all the way down to your feet. And then breathing in the alchemy that sun and moon together, conjunct, creates the very intense blackness through which the light will burst. The power that is here. So breathe it in with as much measure, ease, and grace as is possible. And ground it through the feet, through the magnetic core of the earth, down into Mother Earth. And connecting with the 29 and the master number 11 that it creates. The alchemy of the numerology. What can we do together that completes the old phase, the old 12-year phase, and opens up the new chapter, the next exciting installment of the saga of your life, And breathing that in with ease and grace. Gratitude, ease, and grace. New life, literally new, never received before light, and light codes are coming in. We're going where we've never been before. We've had the last 12 years to prepare to start us on this journey. We're ready, we're primed, we're ready for action. And in your Aries zone, you're eager for it too. You have the magic wisdom of the cat coming to us. Joining in. And breathe it through with ease and grace. And breathing through Sun and Moon conjunct Jupiter. This is putting wise gut instinct to work, or wise intuition into action. Breathing ease and grace and gratitude, ease and grace and gratitude. Breathe it in. And then breathe through Sun and Moon sextile Saturn, making a helpful connection to some structure that is needed here, just to create a footing. And then breathing through Sun and Moon square Pluto, with lots and lots of ease and grace and gratitude, as much acceptance as you can muster, and as much flow as is required. Breathing that through with ease and grace, gratitude and flow. Knowing that ultimately there will be a transformation for your best and highest well-being. And then breathing in to the new moon solar eclipse, the alchemy, the opening of the eclipse season that will hold revelation and either direction or redirection for you. There will be a revelation and an awakening. There may be endings, there may be beginnings, but there will be progress. Moving forward, moving on. Towards your prosperity, your well-being, your joy, your fulfillment. And breathing that through with ease and grace, ease and grace, ease and grace. Going on to something better. Connecting now to Mercury at 15 degrees of Taurus. Mercury, the planet of doing, in Taurus, the sign of doing and working. Both happy and productive. Giving you the expertise to specialize, know your craft, be efficient, have goodly knowledge of your field or that which you're interested in, and methodically go about it. Within a day of this new moon, Mercury will, though, go retrograde and travel back all the way to 5 degrees of Taurus before it starts to move forward. So we're going to breathe through any changes in diaries, work schedules, travel plans, ways of busyness that may introduce ease and grace, ease and grace, ease and grace. Connecting now to Venus at 10 degrees of Gemini. Venus finished its journey through Taurus, where she can have a wonderful time in her home sign. But if there's been any hiccups along that way, things will only really now start to be talked about and unpacked and put right. So Venus in Gemini, she's up for talking. She's also up for playing. And if you're just dating casually, you might find there's a couple of people that come into your vision that you're interested with, and you'll run the two or more alongside each other for now. If you're in a relationship, mix it up, have a chat, decide what you might want to do. Something new, perhaps. Bring in some variety, some play, some socializing. All will be very, very well. And breathing through Venus square Saturn with ease and grace. Breathing that through, breathing it nice and gently. And then connecting to Mars at 13 degrees of Cancer. So behind the scenes, Venus and Mars do have influence on this new moon solar eclipse, because Mars is the ruler of Aries and Venus is the ruler of Taurus, that receives the sun and the moon after a couple of hours. So Mars particularly has skin in the game, and again gives us the energy and the vehicle with which to move forward quickly. Now Mars has been in Cancer for a couple of weeks, stirring up any unfinished business, any clogs in the chain around home, mother, siblings, childhood. Where were you treated unfairly? Where were you left or lacking? These issues now can be resolved through what's to come through this lunation and the next couple of weeks. And in fact, Mars makes a sextile to Mercury, so there will be some healing action taken, some improvement. So breathe that in. Moving across now to Jupiter in Aries as well, the stellium in Aries. Jupiter is at 23 degrees. 23 is the number of freedom, freedom gained through fully owning your own power. It is the regal degree, the regal number. And Jupiter, the planet of good fortune, prosperity, and practical, workable wisdom, is at that regal liberation degree. So where do you get to liberate yourself? And own your power. Breathing all that in. Very good. Moving across now to Saturn at 4 degrees of Pisces. 4 is the male foundational number or structure. So Saturn has begun its task for providing and firming up existing boundaries and established setup or structure in our lives, in our Pisces zone. Where do we need to stand firm? Where do we need to serve ourselves and hold strong? Where have we over given in the past, bent over too much for others? Over the next 3 years, that's about to change, grow up, evolve, and reform. So although sometimes there is value and grace in holding the higher ground, holding the space for others to learn and do their growing. If they're not, then you need to step back. And if they are, but it's too harsh on you, then once again, you need to step back. For everything else, we can dream new dreams here and now and for the next 3 years, or at least bring those dreams down to earth with a more practical understanding and application of how we can make them real. And breathing across to Uranus at 17 degrees of Taurus. Still very strong impact here. Sun and Moon will enter into Taurus shortly after this lunation. And Mercury is conjunct Uranus. And so breathe that in. Taking that deep down. Mercury being informed and taught and guided by Uranus to follow the destiny. Always aim higher. Connecting now to Neptune in Pisces. Neptune at 26 degrees of Pisces. Very idealistic, full of faith in the higher powers. Mystical. Make your prayers sincere, surrendered, and significant. Breathing across to Pluto. Pluto in Aquarius. Just recently birthed there, so it's still at 0 degrees. It's still considering its landing and how it's going to embark on the transformations that we will see as a collective here on the Earth environment, on the Earth plane, but also as a personal part of our journey. What's the karma that's going to give? Where's the collective going to learn? In Aquarius, most likely about equality, egalitarianism, what cost to the planet, to the cosmos. If it's good for one, it must be good for all. And holding back the exploitation and the corruption in our tech developments and developing those advancements which serve us rather than have us serve them. And breathing in with ease and grace, Pluto sextile Neptune. So these two big hitters making a very healing aspect. Connecting with Chiron at 16 degrees of Aries. So Chiron, the kind, helpful, healing energy, the helpful, neighborly, charitable energy that heals the ills of the world. Been working on the male energy within us all lately for several years now. Still working on it, still a way to go. It doesn't leave Aries until 2025. There's plenty more in the tank connecting at 16 degrees, which helps to ensure independence and self-belief and self-confidence taken from the higher knowing. Connecting with the part of fortune at 1 degree of Aries. So wherever you have 1 degree of Aries, not only is that conjunct the 0 degrees and the 29 degrees, but it's where you're going to get your lucky break. 1 degree of Aries. There's going to be some luck or some satisfaction come to you. And the vertex is still at 0 degrees. So breathing all of that in and then stepping back and breathing it all in as a whole, surveying the canopy as a whole, seeing the turning of the cauldron, the turning of the wheel, the energetic gravity and flow created by this whole harmonized event. And then weave your cosmic requests, your hopes, plans, dreams, schemes, wishes, desires into the mix. And directing all of that with ease and grace and gratitude into you, breathing into every cell of the body, every fiber of the being, and all the space in the aura, and bringing it down and seeding it at the feet, and then the magnetic core of the earth to flourish and flow through you, connecting you to your higher soul self for as long as is required in a very conscious way. Beautiful. And now that we've received and given our requests, we're going to take this quantum and do something for the planet. So something selfless in service. We're going to come up above the planet and we're going to form a circle. We will be the physical conduit between heaven and earth for those who do not know to do something like this. And we make this circle, we form this circle free from agenda or condition. But we know that our participation in this circle helps the world receive more of this energy in more easily accessible formation. So we send it to Mother Earth, Gaia herself, with love and gratitude. And then to the north, the south, the east, and the west, the fire, the earth, the air, and the water. And then to all the kingdoms in the earth's environment, held here in equality and balance. Just feel the quiet, soft joy and love that comes from doing something so pleasing for others, so easy, just helping the world be a better place. And give your love and thanks to all the souls that you're connected with on this live event or recording of this optimization. They are your soul family. We are all connected, all of us, whether you're here on the lives or not. Now it's time to descend down. So taking a big deep breath and starting to come down through the skies and down, 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 through the halo, through the aura, through the chakras, coming back around the back of the chakras, curling up and coming to the heart, coming back now more into the body, spreading it through the body, opening the eyes, stretching, yawning, taking it down the legs, through the feet, down into Mother Earth and grounding it there. And then breathing, guys, energy up, breathing it all up, connecting to the heart. And in closing prayer with eyes open, we give thanks for all that has been received here today and optimized here today and even released as we went through the energies. We know its effects will go on long past this session, and we ask and trust in faith and grace. That which we create above and connect with above is delivered so below, or something even better. And for that we give thanks and we say, thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done. All right. Taking a big deep breath, just making sure you're really with us because that was deep. And I say thank you to you. Thank you to those on the recording. Big love. Mwah, 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 mwah. Lots of love. See you next time. Bye-bye.